Welcome back to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? That universal groan when you have to send money internationally?
Oh, yeah. Slow, expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether it's helping family out or your business paying suppliers overseas, it's often just frustrating. Slow transfers, fees popping up everywhere, confusing rates.
It's a real pain point for a lot of people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So today we're going to dig into a specific technology that's, well, really trying to change that whole picture. We're focusing this deep dive on Stellar Lumens. You'll often see it as XLM. That's the native crypto for the Stellar network. We've gathered quite a bit of research, articles, the usual stack. And our mission really is to cut through the jargon. We want to understand what XLM is actually for, the tech behind it, and crucially, its real-world impact.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's unpack this. So maybe start us off. Some listeners might know the name Stellar, but maybe not the nitty-gritty. What's Stellar Lumens, and what specific problem in global finance is it trying to fix?
Right. So Stellar Lumens, XLM, is essentially the fuel, the native token for the Stellar network. And the Stellar network itself, think of it like a decentralized, super fast lane for finance. It's specifically built to handle cross-border payments and other financial services really quickly and cheaply.
Okay.
Its main purpose is connecting all these different players, financial institutions, payment systems, even just individuals all around the world. It lets them send and receive value efficiently and affordably, and that value can be traditional money like dollars or euros or, other digital assets.
You said fast, low cost. I mean, that really is the goal everyone's chasing in global payments, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
So here's where it gets really interesting for me. How does Stellar do that? How does it get that speed and efficiency when the traditional ways are still so, well, clunky?
Yeah, that's the core innovation, really. It comes down to Stellar's unique consensus mechanism. It's called the Stellar Consensus Protocol, or SCP.
SCP.
Now, unlike a lot of other blockchains you hear about that use proof of work, mining, which can be slow and uses tons of energy.
Right, the mining aspect.
Exactly. SCP is different. It's what's called a federated Byzantine agreement system. The simple way to think about it is like having a pre-selected group of trusted validators, like a highly efficient committee, that quickly agrees on which transactions are valid.
Ah, okay. So not everyone has to check everything all the time.
Precisely. It doesn't require that massive network-wide computation that mining does. And the direct result of this, transactions typically confirm in just like 3 to 5 seconds.
3 to 5 seconds. That's wild.
Yeah, and the fees are incredibly low, usually just a tiny fraction of a cent.
A fraction of a cent.
You could literally send money across the world faster than making a coffee, and the cost is almost negligible.
That really puts it in perspective.
It does, and that efficiency, that low cost, makes it fantastic, not just for big corporate transfers, but especially for things like microtransactions and remittances, sending smaller amounts of money home where every single cent saved really, really matters to families.
That speed and cost efficiency sounds revolutionary, honestly. But, okay, let's bring it down to earth for listeners. What does this mean in practice, day-to-day life, for businesses? What are the key ways Stellar and XLM are being used right now?
Okay, yeah, the use cases are very practical. Remittances are a huge one. Like I mentioned, think about the typical cost of sending money home. Traditional services might take, 7%, maybe even 10% sometimes?
Easily, yeah.
With Stellar, where the fee is practically zero, that's a direct saving. Sending, say, $100 could mean an extra $7 or $10 arrives at the destination. For many people, that's groceries or school supplies. It's about making finance work better for underserved populations.
That's a tangible impact.
Definitely. And beyond remittances, it's streamlining cross-border payments for businesses too, make supply chains smoother, quicker payments. It also enables something called tokenized assets. Basically, you can create digital tokens on Stellar that represent real-world things. Could be a dollar, could be gold, maybe even, shares in something. And these tokens can then be traded and moved super easily on the network.
Interesting. So digital versions of traditional assets.
Exactly. And yes, it also supports various DeFi applications, decentralized finance, so financial tools and services built directly on the blockchain, often without needing traditional banks in the middle. And it's probably worth mentioning the Stellar Development Foundation, the SDF. They're a nonprofit organization, and they're kind of the stewards of the network, guiding its development, promoting adoption, growing the ecosystem.
Okay, so it sounds like a really solid system. But adoption is always the big question, isn't it? Is Stellar managing to work with the big established financial players? Or is it still kind of operating on the fringes, more of a niche crypto thing? Are these partnerships just back-end stuff, or do we see it filtering through to users?
That's a fair question. And no, Stellar is definitely not just a niche player when it comes to partnerships. They've actually built some pretty significant collaborations with major financial institutions and fintech companies around the globe.
Oh, really? Like who?
Well, names like IBM, MoneyGram, Circle, these are significant players.
Right. MoneyGram, Circle, people know those names.
Exactly. And you asked if it's just back end? A lot of it is improving the underlying infrastructure, the sort of plumbing of global payments, making things work better behind the scenes. But some partnerships, like the one with MoneyGram, are definitely creating more consumer-facing options. Things like being able to send money using Stellar Rails and then have someone pick it up as cash at a MoneyGram location. It starts to blur the lines between crypto and traditional finance in a very practical way.
I see. So bridging that gap.
And for anyone listening who wants to actually get or use XLM, it's pretty accessible. It's supported by various wallets. Lobster is a popular one, Keybase too.
Hmm.
And you can find it on all the major crypto exchanges, Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, the usual suspects.
Okay, so it's not hard to get hold of.
No, not at all. And just for context, as of, say, mid-2025, XLM generally ranks somewhere in the top 50 cryptocurrencies by market cap. So it has a significant presence, decent liquidity. Another interesting point is its supply. There's a fixed total supply of 50 billion XLM. No more will ever be created. Right now, about 30.2 billion are circulating.
Fixed supply. That's always an interesting economic factor in crypto.
It is. It potentially has long-term implications for its value and how the network economy functions, especially if adoption keeps growing. The network itself is designed to handle high transaction volumes, so it's really geared towards both big enterprise uses and everyday retail stuff. It also has basic smart contract features, mainly for creating and managing those tokenized assets we talked about, and setting up trust lines between accounts.
You know, listening to all this, what really strikes me is how focused Stellar seems to be on practical, everyday utility.
I think that's fair.
Feels less like a purely speculative asset and more like a tool built to solve actual, tangible financial problems, aiming for that real financial inclusion.
That's certainly a core part of their mission, yes.
Okay, so as we start to wrap up this deep dive, I think the core takeaway is pretty clear. Stellar Lumens and the network behind it offer a very real, very efficient, and notably affordable solution for moving value globally. It uses clever tech, like the Stellar Consensus Protocol, not just for the sake of tech, but to actually connect different financial systems and tackle those real-world payment headaches we started with.
Yeah, exactly. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, it really is about trying to reshape how value moves across borders. It's playing a key role in fostering greater financial inclusion, trying to bridge that gap between old school traditional finance and these new decentralized possibilities, making global money movement fairer and easier for a lot more people.
Right. Which leaves us with a pretty interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. How might platforms like Stellar, as they continue to develop and get adopted, how might they fundamentally change international commerce and even just our personal finances over the next, say, decade?
It's a big question.
It is. And specifically, what are the implications of cryptocurrency like XLM, with its fixed supply, for future economic models? Especially as more and more value inevitably moves into the digital realm.
Food for thought.
Definitely something to ponder. We encourage you to explore those ideas further.